Welcome back to the Tasty Tenors series. I'm Tess, and I'm basically going to be showing you how to make delicious food for under £10. In this episode, I'm going to be making delicious lemon yogurt chicken and fluffy pilau rice. So the first step is the marinade. Here I've got my chicken. I've got a combination of chicken thighs and drumsticks and about 4 tablespoons of yogurt in the bottom. To that, I'm going to add about 4 tablespoons of chopped coriander. Right, so I'm going to zest my lemon straight in. You want the zest of a whole lemon. Be generous. That combined with the spicy chilli, I've got half a teaspoon of chilli flakes going in. About 2 teaspoons of cumin, ground cumin, and 2 teaspoons of turmeric for a nice bright yellow, earthy colour and flavour. I'm just going to go in with about a teaspoon of pepper as well, or just under, and just give that a really nice mix up. For all the ingredients and a further description of the recipe, check the description box. So given that a mix up, I need to add a tablespoon of honey as well. Just add that in now. Just give it another final mix before I pop it in the fridge. Okay, so I've got the chicken nicely marinated there. I'm just going to cover it with cling film. Okay, I'm just going to pop that in the fridge now to marinate for about half an hour. So, to make the pilau rice, what I got to do first, toast the spices. So I've got my pan on a medium-high heat, and I'm going to go in with about 2 tablespoons of oil. I'm toasting some cumin and some chilli, and some turmeric and some cinnamon. So I'm just going to add all of them in right now. Make sure the heat's high enough. And you just want to toast them for a couple of minutes until they smell like really aromatic. Whew! I can already smell them. So after a couple of minutes, when they're smelling really nice and toasted, you want to go straight in with the onions. I've just finely chopped a red onion here. And I'm just going to add it straight to the pan. Now you want to really coat it in the spices and then add an extra tablespoon of oil if you need, so the pan doesn't look dry. So we're going to give the onions a couple of minutes to soften down, about 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to reduce the heat slightly to a medium. Okay, we can get some nice colour on them and caramelise them nicely. I've soaked my rice and washed it. I soaked it in some cold water for about 10 minutes, then I sieved it and washed it through with some extra cold water just to get rid of any of the extra starch. This is a really important thing because it keeps your rice really light and fluffy, which is what we want for pilau rice. So I'm going to go in with an extra tablespoon of oil at this point, and now I'm going to go in with my rice, all of it at once. Now I'm going to give it a second before I add the water. I'm going to stir the rice through. I really want to coat the rice in the flavours of the onion and the spices. So I'm just going to give that a really good mix up. Got my rice in there all nicely mixed up, yellow and golden, and I'm just going to cover that with some water. So you basically want to add double the amount of water to rice, or you just want to cover it by about an inch. So that looks about right. I'm going to go with 2 bay leaves. One really big bay leaf and a normal sized one, and a stock cube. Chuck that in like so. So I'm just going to pop the lid on, I'm going to bring it to the boil, and I'm going to simmer it for about 12 to 15 minutes. I'm going to check on it in 10 and see how it's looking. So I just got my chicken out of the fridge, it's nice and cold, it's been marinating for about half an hour. I'm just going to pour it into my baking dish. Now all I need to do, give it a drizzle of olive oil. There we go. Season it with a bit of salt. Remember, I didn't season it earlier, so I need to season it now. And give that a little mix. I'm just going to cover that with foil. And I've got my oven preheated at 180 degrees. I'm going to pop it in the oven for 20 minutes with the foil on. Then I'm going to take the foil off and carry on cooking it until it's done. So I've just fluffed up the rice. I'm just going to add the raisins into it now and gently mix them through the fork. You want to be careful doing this because you don't want to bash up the rice too much and break the grains. This is such a great, cheap recipe. For more like this, click the subscribe button. Right, so I'm just going to get the hot chicken. It's a very yellow recipe, I have to say. And I'm just going to get all the juices and just plonk the chicken on top. I'm just going to garnish with a little more coriander. And it's ready to go. So there we have it. My delicious lemon yogurt chicken with fluffy pilau rice. So hope to see you again next time for another episode of my Tasty Tenors series.